Ralphie, thanks for a fantastic conversation tonight about image sharing and how we get our images shared. A real fundamental question though, how important are friends when it comes to social media sharing?
I think basically they are the most important tool and most important asset that we've got, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is that in today's market, we're actually turning to our friends for advice and help, and to say to us, hey, recommend that. We don't trust brands anymore. So I think that's a fundamental shift we've seen over the last, sort of 4 or 5 years.
Cool. You touched briefly tonight on the conversation around the importance of groups, community, cults. Can you give us a case study around how somebody has used those friends and that importance of friends to really get a good following?
Well, I think a great technique is to use your friends as advocates for your brand, and I love what GoPro are doing. I mean, GoPro make a tiny little video box and it's very unassuming, but they're inspiring a whole movement of videographers out there to capture life and to capture sport and those extreme moments, and I think that's creating a movement. It's creating an amazing movement involving content.
Fantastic. So GoPro, and understand the importance of your target market's friends in terms of creating advocates.
Absolutely.
Thank you once again, Ralphie. It's been fantastic. Cameron, thank you for an awesome conversation tonight around image sharing, and particularly the Black Milk story. One of the things we didn't get to talk about was how much of the Black Milk story was deliberate and how much was accidental.
I wouldn't say accidental, but organic. I mean, people do say, my background's marketing and advertising, so did I sit there with James and create some big strategic plan of how we're going to engage and force this? But I think, no, the answer is no. We're very reactive. I think the two things, listening and having that conversation with the customer, you really know and get a feel for what they want. And so, yeah, so it was, the wanky word, organic. And we literally, accidental. And we did. Nothing's ever been forced or contrived. And I think that's been the brilliant part and why girls engage so much, because it's never really felt like some marketing beast or person has been shoving some marketing message down their throat. Not at all, at any point. We kind of just grow and feel, and as a new medium or channel opens up, we experience it.
And you just keep building on the accidents or on the
and you learn. You learn from your mistakes, and then you maximise on the things that work really well. And we have the whole way along. It's been a massive learning experience over 3 years.
Fantastic. One of the things we did talk about in the panel conversation was the importance of selfies. That is, your customers taking photos of themselves in your product. Do you reckon that can be duplicated across other markets, or is that unique to the fact that your target market are young women who really like taking photos of themselves? I mean,
we're very fortunate. Our target market is young women, and fashion is a big part of their life. And before they go out, girls have been, hey, what do you think of this? I'm nervous. I'm going on a hot date. What do I wear? We are fortunate at that, but that doesn't stop other brands and services. I mean, when you go to a hotel, you go to a restaurant, I think it is applicable. Obviously, we're very fortunate to be in that space that it's very easy and it's in the natural environment which girls are doing it. But I think you just have to think, how can I generate that user-generated content in that visual form for my product or service? And how excited are people when they receive a product in the mail or go buy it or take it home, open it up and take a photo and share it to the world? They're probably doing it. You just need to probably find a way to actually pull that information through back to your brand.
Awesome. I could talk to you for hours about the Black Milk story and how you guys have specifically used it, but I won't. So thank you very much for an incredible conversation tonight, Cameron.
Thanks for having us.
No worries. Dario, thanks for a fantastic conversation tonight. We spoke a lot about how and why we should be image sharing, but do we actually have any data that suggests that images work that much better on social media platforms than just the traditional text?
Yep, there was an interesting study done by a website called simplymeasured.com. They looked at the introduction of the Facebook timeline layer and how that impacted on brands. And what they found after the introduction of timeline was that the level of engagement per post went up by 46%, which is massive. So, I mean, it's a good example when brands are considering if they should be considering a visual strategy for their message. That kind of example is perfect proof for them to justify that decision.
Okay, so if a brand has been active in social media and they're now thinking about going more visual, how do you suggest they go about that? What are the important things that they need to consider?
I think they should consider who their target audience is and what kind of messages are going to be relevant to them. That's one of the big things. You want to be interesting, you want to be exciting, you want to be genuine. The next thing is to put a strategy in place around that. Who's responsible for creating that content? What parameters do they have to work within? What times of day are they going to post it? How often? What channels? What kind of language is appropriate? There's a whole sort of range of things that needs to be covered and set as part of the strategy. And then making sure that that is executed consistently for the brand and monitored so that you can continue to develop more content that people are interacting with and enjoying.
I think when it comes to visual sharing, we think a lot about Facebook, we think a lot about Instagram, but Pinterest seems to be the one that gets the most amount of interest because of the supposed traffic it generates. Are you seeing that Pinterest is a highly successful channel for brands to be marketing on?
I think it depends. Pinterest really depends a lot on the business. If the business is a visual kind of business, so for creative industries it's perfect, for fashion it's perfect, then Pinterest is a great channel to use. For B2B businesses it's probably not so good. But yeah, definitely where you have a product or a service that appeals to an emotion or has something visual to show, then Pinterest is great, but I don't think it's for everyone.
Cool. Dario, thank you once again for your insights tonight. It's been awesome.
You're welcome.